Ladies and gentlemen, right now, at this very moment, you are standing at the crossroads of your destiny. This is not just another speech. This is not just another day. This very message can be the spark that ignites a new fire in your life. If you dare to listen, if you dare to believe, it can change everything. You are one decision away from a totally different life. Right now, yes. Right now, you are holding a decision in your heart that could unlock a future so much greater than what you've imagined. The power isn't in your circumstances. It's not in your background, your education, your job title, or even the hand life dealt you. The power is in your choice. There comes a moment in every life when the noise has to stop, when the excuses dry up, and when we face a simple, undeniable truth. I am responsible for what happens next. And that truth is terrifying, but it is also liberating. Because if it's in your hands, then it's also in your control to change it. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. You don't need every question answered. You don't need perfect timing. You just need one bold, defiant, soul-shaking decision. I will not live this way any longer. I will not settle. I will not be a prisoner of fear, of doubt, of regret. I will not be the product of my past. I will be the architect of my future. Some of you have been carrying chains that don't belong to you. Chains handed down by others, by pain, by failure, by people who said you would never be enough. But hear me, you can walk out of that prison. You can leave that darkness, but you have to decide. This is your moment. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. This one. You might say, but you don't know what I've done. No, I don't. But I know this. Your past does not disqualify you, it prepares you. Every scar, every loss, every tear was shaping you for this second, for this message, for this very choice. Some of you are waiting for a sign. This is your sign. Some of you are waiting for permission. You have it. Some of you are waiting for a voice to call you out of the shadows. This is that voice. This is that call. It's not just echoing in your ears, it's thundering in your spirit. This message isn't just words. It's a lifeline. And if you reach for it, everything can change. So decide. Decide to rise. Decide to believe again. Decide to let go of the weight you were never meant to carry. Decide that your future deserves your courage. Because one decision, just one, can change your life forever. You were made for more. There's something inside you that knows this already, something deep in your soul that whispers in the quiet moments. There's got to be more than this. And that whisper? It's not just wishful thinking. It's truth calling out from the core of who you are. You weren't made to simply exist. You weren't born to clock in, clock out, go through the motions, and survive until the weekend. You were not meant to drift. You were meant to rise. You were designed with purpose, crafted with intention, and set on this earth with greatness buried in your bones. But here's the hard truth. Most people never tap into it. They live their whole lives wearing masks, fitting in, playing small, trying to keep everyone else comfortable, while something inside them is screaming to be set free. And maybe that's you. Maybe you felt that ache, that quiet frustration, that invisible wall that separates you from the life you know you were meant to live. What if I told you that The greatness you're waiting for is already within you. It's not out there. It's in here. You don't have to find it. You have to unlock it. And the key? The key is belief. You must believe that you were created with a purpose greater than your paycheck, greater than your problems, greater than your past. You must believe that your pain has meaning, that your struggle has been shaping something powerful, something eternal, something undeniably you. And I know what you're thinking. But what if I fail? Hear me. The greatest failure is not falling short. The greatest failure is never trying. It's living your whole life beneath your potential because you were afraid to stand up and say, I was made for more. You were made to be a light in dark places. You were made to speak truth when the world is loud with lies. You were made to rise when others fall. You were made to love deeply, to fight fiercely, to live boldly. That kind of life, it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by decision. It happens by faith. There is a version of you that you haven't met yet. A version that walks with fire in their eyes and conviction in their heart. A version that stops waiting for the world to give permission and instead steps boldly into their calling. You were made for more than survival. You were made for victory, for impact, for purpose. And that starts not tomorrow, not next year, but right now when you decide to stop shrinking and start living the life you were born to live. You were made for more, and deep down, you already know it. The real war is not outside of you. It is inside you. We live in a world full of noise, distractions, and constant battles pulling us in every direction. But the greatest battle you will ever fight won't be on the outside. It will be within your own heart, your own mind, your own soul. And that battle determines everything. You can conquer the world, but if you haven't conquered yourself, you're still a prisoner. You can win arguments, build success, collect achievements, but if fear still holds you hostage when no one's looking, if shame whispers lies into your soul at night, then the real war is still raging. Let me ask you, what are the thoughts that replay when the world goes quiet? What voices do you hear when you're alone with yourself? Because those voices, they shape your actions, your choices, your destiny. And if those voices are rooted in fear, in guilt, in regret, then you're not living freely. You're surviving behind invisible bars. Some of you have been fighting silent battles for far too long. Battles with insecurity, with bitterness, with the deep belief that you're not enough. You've learned how to look strong on the outside while you're barely holding it together inside. You smiled in public and cried in silence. But hear me now, you are not alone in that fight. There is a war within every soul. A battle between the lie that says you'll never change and the truth that says you were born to overcome. A war between the voice of fear that tells you to stay small and the voice of courage that dares you to rise. Every day you choose which voice gets to win. And here's the breakthrough moment. You don't have to fight with your own strength. You're not meant to carry it all, fix it all, or be it all. The moment you admit your weakness is the moment you unlock your greatest power, because humility invites healing. Surrender silences shame, and honesty breaks the chains of hidden battles. So don't hide your war. Face it. Don't silence the pain, name it. Because what you bring into the light loses its power in the dark. And once you begin to fight the right battle, the one within everything around you, begins to shift. There is a warrior in you waiting to rise, not one who conquers through anger or pride, but through truth, through courage, through the relentless decision to show up every single day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You may be in a fight right now, but that's not your end, it's your beginning. Because every great victory starts with an internal revolution. And the moment you choose to believe that freedom is possible, you've already won the first battle. The war is within, but so is the victory. Real strength is found not in control, but in surrender. That may sound backwards in a world that teaches you to grip tighter, climb higher, fight harder. But some of you are exhausted not because you're weak, but because you've been carrying a weight you were never meant to bear. You've been trying to control everything and it's breaking you. Let me speak straight to your soul. You are not the savior of the world. You are not built to carry every burden, fix every problem, or hold every piece of your life in perfect place. And the harder you try to control what was never yours to control, the more anxious, angry, and alone you become. We've been told that surrender means defeat. That giving up control means giving up power. But what if the opposite is true? What if surrender is the doorway to peace? What if letting go is how you actually rise? Some of you are drowning, not because the waves are too high, but because you refuse to stop thrashing. You're trying to fight the current of life, and it's dragging you under. But the moment you stop fighting and start trusting, that's the moment you float. That's the moment things begin to change. We all want certainty. We all want guaranteed. We want to know how it's going to work out. But faith, real, radical, unshakable faith, requires surrender. It's saying, I don't see the whole plan, but I trust the one who does. It's releasing your need to control the outcome and choosing instead to obey the call. That's strength. That's courage. You don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. You don't need to feel fearless to walk in faith. But you do need to stop clinging to what's killing your spirit. Stop gripping the pain, the past, the pressure. Open your hands. Let go. Because what you surrender, you make room to receive. Some of you have been asking, why isn't anything changing? Maybe it's because you're still trying to be the author of a story you were meant to live, not write. Maybe the breakthrough isn't in trying harder, but in trusting deeper. There's a power that doesn't come from striving, it comes from surrender. The power to walk through storms with peace. The power to love when it's hard. The power to forgive, to heal, to be transformed, not by your strength, but by grace. So today, let the illusion of control fall away. Lay down the pressure to be everything for everyone. And in that quiet moment of surrender, you'll hear it, the whisper of freedom, the sound of strength, the truth that in letting go, you're finally stepping into who you were always meant to be. Real strength isn't in the grip, it's in the release. You don't need a better version of the old. You need a new you. Some people spend their entire lives trying to tweak themselves into greatness. They read the books, make the lists, try to change habits, manage behaviors, but still feel empty. Why? Because they're trying to remodel a house that was never meant to stand in the first place. They don't need renovations, they need reconstruction. They don't need improvement, they need transformation. Here's the truth. Most people won't say out loud, You can't change your life until you change who you are at the core. Not just what you do, but what you believe, what you value, what you're living for. Trying to fix the surface without healing the foundation is like putting fresh paint on a cracked wall. It looks good for a moment, but it won't last. There's a reason you felt stuck. There's a reason you keep repeating the same cycles, the same mistakes, the same patterns. You don't need more motivation. You need a new mindset. You don't need more hustle. You need a new heart. You don't need to become a slightly better version of your broken self. You need to step into a completely new identity. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. This is about becoming who you were always meant to be before the fear, before the wounds, before the lies told you that you were too far gone. Because hear this, you are not too far gone. You are one decision away from a complete turnaround. One moment of surrender, one bold yes to truth, one radical step into the unknown. That's all it takes to begin again. You were never meant to live with the weight of trying to perfect a broken image. You were created to rise into a new one. That kind of change doesn't come from the outside, and it comes from the inside out. And when it happens, people will look at you and say, "What happened to them?" And the answer will be simple: transformation. You were never meant to stay stuck in who you were yesterday. Growth is not optional, it's essential. But growth isn't just a process. It's a miracle, a divine shift, a spiritual rebirth. It's the moment the old breaks so the new can emerge. And for some of you, that moment is now. The world doesn't need a polished version of the old you. It needs the real you, the awakened you, the you who is finally free to live with fire and purpose and boldness, the you who isn't afraid to let go of what was to become what must be. So stop waiting for the perfect time. The time is now. This is your invitation. Not to do more, but to become more. This message isn't just about change, it's about rebirth. And it's already begun. And now we arrive at the edge of decision. You've heard the call. You've felt the pull. Something inside you has been stirred not by chance, but by divine appointment. This is not just another message. This is your message. A line has been drawn in the sand, and you must decide which side you'll stand on: the comfort of the familiar or the courage of the unknown. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not broken beyond repair. You are standing in a moment that can shift the entire trajectory of your life, not because the words are magical, but because your response to them is powerful. What you do next will echo for years to come. So I challenge you, don't let this moment pass you by. Don't let it be something you heard and forgot. Let it be something you answered. Let it be the moment you rose, the moment you turned, the moment you said, "No more hiding, no more shrinking, no more waiting. Today, I begin again." This message can change your life, but only if you let it. So rise, decide, surrender, transform, and never look back.